Hello, this is the 2025 LEGO Star Wars Rebel U-Wing Starfighter. It is not a Rogue One set, it is an Andor set. Comes with 594 pieces. It cost me $70 US, it's 70 euros, 60 pounds UK, or $90 Canadian. It comes with 4 minifigures, and we'll mostly look at those up close later on. I do not still have the original 2016, now almost a decade old, Rogue One U-Wing. I just don't have infinite time and money to hold on to everything always, but I have looked at comparisons between it and this is really not intended to compare to that, because this is not trying to be a set that you're forced to get. Nobody's forcing anybody to buy it. This is intended to be a set for today, for today's consumers who are interested in the Andor show in particular. And I think that in some ways, this actually does its job of being a replica, toy replica, collectible display item replica, it's a toy, of the U-Wing better than the original did. Not in every way, but I think that the overall proportions of this are much more sleek. It's only an inch shorter, about that much shorter than the original, between 2 and 3 centimeters shorter, but it has a much less bulky section here. The main body, it's less wide, it's less tall, just all of the main fuselage there is not nearly as large on this one, which I think makes it look better. What doesn't make it look better is this section right in here, this gap. There's too much gap between the engines. And in general, I feel like the engines just feel a little bit plain, especially around the back, just with the tiled in areas. Doesn't look all that great. Doesn't have any kind of greebling back here, other than it's just a little bit with that piece there. But yeah, that's what I get for disappointment. I did expect this to have less space in it, given its smaller size and the kind of different positioning. Let's finish taking a look at the outside before we get to the interior details and the possible points of contention with its size, really. These are spring-loaded shooters that are built in. They got the mechanism right here, which is super sleek. You push down here and those fire out nicely. But of course, you do have to be careful not to push on that when they're loaded, when you don't want them to come out. This does rely upon stickers. So you got a color correcting sticker right here, thankfully. It's just the corner bit. You can see the edges. If I can get that to glare off of the light. Can I get it to actually glare? Where's my glare? Oh, I saw one. Where is it? There you go. You can see the edges of it there. This is also a sticker. This one does have the white bits inside of it. You got a sticker right there. Now that one does have the white, so you're able to see the difference in white color between the plastic and the sticker itself. There's another sticker there. They're just not too offensive to me in general. This is the worst of them. So if you dislike stickers that stand out, just leave that one out. I think the rest are working fine. And then most of this is relying on no color correcting stickers, just actual plastic pieces. This does not have any landing gear, but it doesn't need it because it's got the flat bottom right here. The X-Wing canopy fits in here nicely, and it is embedded down just a little bit, so that makes it difficult to get this up. You can't really get your fingernail underneath there. It's tricky, but that's okay because they have this really slick mechanism right here that is so simple. It's just a little button. It's not red. It's not screaming at you. It's just a little thing that just pushes that up just a little bit, and then you can open it easily. So that's pretty nice. We'll look at a figure in the pilot's seat in just a minute. Finishing coming around the side here, the back has this nice little openable flap. There's not much space there. I thought there was going to be more of a serious trunk, but I later found out after messing around with this that this is actually useful storage space, and you'll see why soon. These are nice because they're just really convenient, easy to get in and out of. They're rotating on a couple of ball joints. It should slide, right? But there's not enough space here to make a whole sliding mechanism. It would have to be so much more bulky. So I'm okay with this. I think that it works well as a play thing. All right, there it is. I complained in my unveiling video, my thoughts news video, that this is a troop carrier, right? It's a troop carrier that only holds one single figure in there. You probably don't want to be ferrying an Imperial around who has their weapon and everything, but this is just for demonstration purposes. But that's how it's intended to go. There's a little console towards the front as well, so you can just imagine somebody's doing something in there. You can't actually see through this window, which technically is for the cockpit either, but again, you can't actually see through it. So that's not actually doing anything, but this is the intent. However, what happens if you turn this person around It's a little bit of a tight squeeze right up at the top there, but it does work depending upon the headgear piece that's on the specific figure. But then you pop this off because that's just a crate. Does that look like a space that could fit a figure? It looks like a space that could fit a figure to me. And just to drive the point home about how wrong I was when I first saw this thing, there's me in there with Dedra. You can fit 2 people in there, and I don't know, it might even be some tricky way that you get a third in. It would be really uncomfortable. But look, they're both seated there, and this closes up. That works perfectly fine. And not only that, open this up, take that crate. It doesn't actually open up, unfortunately, but it represents something. Put that in the trunk. Look, it's a perfect space for it. Oh, wait for it. Trust me. This does work. There, it fits in there. That's actually good. It's actually good. So, yeah, my main complaint was wrong, and I'm not mad that this only holds 2 figures because, or in the troop compartment because, well, it is a small ship. Now, returning to the top with that covered, so this opens up. You've got a sticker there for the control panel. Unfortunately, no yokes, nothing to suggest controls for this. And also, unfortunately, the figure has to lean way back to fit in there, which is not a great look. It's not a terrible look, though. Definitely not a great look. It's the fact that it's obscured by this kind of B pillar right here, I think really helps. You don't easily see the face, and from the front with the visor over the top, you don't easily see the face until you come way up there. That's awkward to look at. But from most angles, it's not too bad of an experience, I think. And then with the trunk in the back, you can put other small accessories from your figure or figures in there as well, or alternately. The only problem here is that K-2SO is included and doesn't really fit into the troop compartment. I wasn't able to find a way that really worked effectively, that really got him to stick and stay in there in a good way. So that's a little bit of a miss. It just needed to have some studs facing forward or facing towards the side, I think, to optionally hold him in there. And then the other big thing that I haven't shown yet is this, right? These are able to unlock and then they lock back. So this is pretty elegant. They're thin. Again, I think that they might actually be a little bit more accurate proportion-wise than the 2016 Rogue One version of this ship in Lego form. And they're really easy, and they're strong. They've got enough strength in these things. Yeah, you can bend them a little bit. Maybe you can, if you go crazy with it, you can start to pop up the tiles slightly, but it's easy to push them back together. It's plenty strong. As a matter of fact, like I can hold this from here. Maybe not here. Oh, wow. Wow, that's actually working. I would never expect that to work, actually. Engines. We've had problems with engines in the past decade. Falling off, these don't fall off. They're nicely held in there. So just in general, this thing is very easy to handle. I think it looks elegant. For its size, it does enough. Got the shooter there as well. And just in general, it feels like a successful design. What I like least about it, again, is just the low level of detail back here with the engines. Oh, and yeah, you do need to have that gap there to fit these just past the inlet manifolds there. Maybe that could have been tightened up just a little bit, but you can see how close things are getting right in here. So I'm not mad at that either. Looking at the protagonist figures more closely, this is, of course, Cassian Andor, and this is K-2SO. We got this first with Krennic's shuttle some years ago, and I don't remember, I'm going to talk about this one first. I don't remember if back then I made a big deal about a certain feature on the K-2SO figure, but I'm going to make a big deal about it now because it feels much, much more relevant and much, much more important and special. These Imperial logos printed at the tips of bar pieces, or essentially something that's the size of a bar, are perfect. The white is opaque. The alignment is on point. It's off by the tiniest fraction of a millimeter, not even a half a millimeter, not even a quarter millimeter. It's like a tenth of a millimeter off center there. And that's on both sides. Not only that, but also when you look at the front, you got this little panel right here in the middle. That's no big deal, but I mean, it looks good. It's got silver printing in there, but look at the little bit off to the side, that right there with the little blue and the little silver, that tiny little area right there, that is also aligned perfectly. I mean, the highlight of the silver is immaculate. The eyes are also done very well here. The white is centered properly, like the print was struck properly, and again, there's plenty of opacity. This is just once again proving that not only is good printing possible on a high production volume basis, but Lego is capable of it. So whenever we super fans come to the defense of Lego, when Lego does a bad job, when they have poor quality printing, we come to their defense and say, "Oh, it costs too much. It's it's too expensive. It's too hard for Grandma Christensen working out of her hut in the middle of the field in Billund to make all those things, to perfection. We need to go easier on the multi-billion-dollar company that's making $2 billion net profit per year. We need to stop that, because that's not only what's possible, but that's possible from Lego with just a droid figure. The Andor figure looks really good to me too. I think that it's nice to get the updated skin tone that's appropriate. I think the head looks good. I think the body looks good. The printing there is crisp on the torso. We got print on the leg as well. The print around the back, like I wouldn't expect to have a big smile from him. So we've got two, like this is his confidence. I'm getting the job done. And then this is more of just a neutral standard expression for him playing that character. I think it's good. I've heard complaints that the hair isn't good. I think the hair is fine. It's not perfect, but I personally think it's fine. And the choice of old school blaster there, as well as a nice one to bring that back, the double stack version. So in general, I just think that great work has been done here, proving that Lego can actually do this stuff well. Then looking at the antagonists, this is Dedra, and you've got a generic unnamed ISB tactical agent there. And this headgear piece is done really, really nicely with the hair. And the logo up there is printed with silver on the caps for both of them. Those look pretty good. The torsos look pretty good to me. The hip and leg printing over here for the tactical looks also good. Some print on the side would have been nice, but it is a relatively generic figure. I don't need that. However, when we get to here, this is where I have every right to complain, because that white is rather different from what we see up here. And it just stands out. This is one of the main characters of the entire IP here, the entire sub-theme of it. And this character just deserved better than that. Could we have gone with dual molded? Of course we could have gone with dual molded, and then just put black printing around the side and made the coat look more appropriate there. And then you would have had matching white from top to bottom. Instead, we get it's not the worst. It's definitely not the worst. I've seen much worse than this, but it still stands out in a bad way. So yeah, I'm going to call that out, and I will always call out things like that, because we are paying premium prices here. I do expect top quality design work and production work. I think the design is good. The graphic designer did a good job. The designer of the set did a good job. That face, I think, is appropriate for this character as well, but the production on the print is sad. Just a quick look at the spare pieces, and yes, there is an extra hairpiece for Andor, and I've heard that a lot of people are getting those. That seems to be just a common mistake or quirk, which I'm not going to complain about. Extra hairpiece, and it's a generic one. You get one extra spring-loaded shooter, no prints here, and this is what the sticker sheet looked like. Please ignore the orange paint on the back. I was demonstrating something for some other hobby while I was live building this on Twitch. Again, the price here was $70 US. It's 70 euros, 60 pounds UK, or $90 Canadian for just short of 600 pieces with the 4 minifigures there. Again, I think that the ship itself is good. The minifig selection, I think I'm fine with, including the number of them for this size of set. Obviously, the ship does more than I thought. It's more capable than I had given it credit for when I first saw the thing. The build of it is very good, feels appropriate, feels right for a play set, which is 100,000% what this is. This is not designed for collectors. This is not designed for folks who already have the Rogue One in their long-term, multi-decade spanning collection. This as a product today is valid. Most of the choices here, I think, design choices, are good. That print, unfortunate. That print, amazing. In 2025, they can still do great prints. top quality prints that I would never ask to be exceeded. The price overall, not terrible. Today, I would kind of expect this to be in the 60 to 70 range, realistically. And sure, a discount would be great for folks who live in regions where discounts occur very early on in the release cycle. Fantastic. Happy for you. For the rest of the world, most of the world who don't have access to that, you can probably wait. I bet you this will go on discount towards the end of its life, even in North America. I think you'll probably see some small discounts if you're willing to wait. Obviously, Andor, the series, is over now. Anybody who's waiting to binge it is doing so around now, I would expect. So interest in this is probably going to go down a little bit. Demand is going to go down. Supply isn't going to dwindle as fast, and hopefully we'll be able to get some better deals. But even as it is at $70, I'm not aghast at it. A little cheaper would be nice, but Lego's expensive. It's always been expensive. If you think that it hasn't, check the data, adjust for inflation. It's a real thing. Look for facts. Temper emotions with facts as much as you can. It's a very expensive. Lego is very expensive, and always has been. This is not too terrible. This is not too bad of a deal, but it's most importantly a good product. At least, and then you can make a decision from there if you think it's worth it to you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was of value to you. Thank you especially to my Patreon members and my channel members on both main channels who are really helping to keep me afloat. The Twitch subscribers as well. Now, as these reviews become less and less valuable to the YouTube system and ultimately back to me, I hope that I'm still providing value to you with the work that I do here, and I thank you for the extra support beyond even just watching the videos. But those of you who just watch the videos, I appreciate you as well. Again, thanks, and I'll talk to you again soon.